Hello, Joel Anderson here. I wanted to talk to you about two things today. The first thing is noise in the workplace. You ever walk into a place and the music is blaring and you can't hear yourself think? Well, that's actually interfering with production. Now you're going to see most guys walking around and they're going to be singing and they're going to be having a good time and they're going to have their rhythm going on and all this kind of stuff. But what does this do? This tells these people be somewhere else. I'll give you an example. Prime example is you're listening to a song, it's one of your favorite songs, and you start thinking about the first time that you had heard that song, right? And it's probably got some significance in some life event or something like that. And it's actually telling you to be there. I know this is a far stretch, but do the test yourself. Don't rely on me about it. Uh, so what happens is, the guy who's into this song is not there. Just they're not there. They're thinking about something else. So they're sitting there working along, and they're on a bandsaw or something like that. Ding! There goes two fingers. Why? They weren't there. That's the simplicity of it. They weren't there. And you know, there's another thing that happens as far as noise in the workplace. You have a machine and it makes a noise. It has its own rhythm. You're cutting wood, you got ying, 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 and you hear the sounds of the saw and you know that it slows down a little bit while you're cutting. If you have a loud noise going on or loud music going on, you're not going to sense or hear the changes in that machine that could be the warning sign that something is about to happen. So you don't have any way to predict, get your hands out of the way or whatever, back out of the way. So when the piece of wood or steel or plastic or whatever it is they're working with, you don't have time to get out of the way because there's so much other noise going on. You don't hear and sense a problem with the machine. And this is how accidents happen, or it's actually one cause that accidents happen. All right. So when I had, a big shop going on, 20 people in it or whatever, you got the guy over here cutting on the saw, you got four over here welding, you got somebody over here fitting, you got, all these things going on. When I used to actually go out there into the shop because in this particular case, the big music freaking thing, stacked unit with huge speakers that somebody brought in from home and stuff like that. Well, I could hear that in my office, which was on the other side of the break room. So, I'd go out there and I'd turn the volume down and I'd say, look, guys, you want background music? That's fine. Keep it low so you don't have to scream when you talk and you can hear the machines operate, right? And it got so bad that I actually took a sledgehammer to a guy's stereo system, busted it in a million pieces because enough was enough, right? I had one guy who had just crushed his fingers. I had another guy that ground his fingers off because he was working on a piece and he couldn't hear that the piece was moving. So the grinder got bound up, shot off, zing, right? So that's just a little bit of information, I guess you might say, on how to protect your workers. They're not going to see it that it's protection because they want the window or they want the music. Or in an office, there's another thing, distraction could come from, somebody daydreaming out the window. In any case, what's going on is the person or people have their mind somewhere else. I mean, that's the simplicity of it. And then you get no production done and you open the area for accidents. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing is a little bit controversial, and, I'm going to talk about it anyway because it's just what I got to do. And it's the whole legalizing of drugs, right? Drugs. What do drugs do? Same thing. They make the person be somewhere else. It kind of fixes them in a different time and place. This is what drugs do. Or it fixes them in a euphoria of an imagined time and place, right? So there you go. You open up yourself for accidents again, lack of production. You might get guys fighting because they they think they're fighting with someone else. They literally think they're fighting with someone else. And now we have this thing where we're legalizing marijuana, okay? And the whole cannabis oil thing, and it doesn't make you high, and it takes away your pain, and blah, blah, blah. Well, how would it take away pain? It dulls the senses. This is what it does. So if it dulls the senses, then the person is not going to be where the person is. They're just going to be somewhere else. So, I always did drug screening. I have a drug-free workplace. I still do drug screening, as a matter of fact. And I even went so far as to not hire people who are on drugs for some kind of a mental problem, right? Because the problem is not being addressed. That mental problem is not being addressed with drugs. It's being masked, okay? Which opens up the door for all kinds of other things. And I could go off on this subject for a good long time, giving a whole bunch of examples and this and that. And the only thing, the point actually that I'm trying to make is we have a society today that goes for the quick fix, okay? You go back 100 years and what happened? Somebody got sick, somebody had ill, somebody had a problem, the family always helped them out. The family, the little old country doctor, and there was not a lot of medication. There was a lot of, let's call it love and help from family members. There was a doctor who said, okay, if you eat better and have exercise or something like that, that you will get healed. And, more times than not, that's what happened. Well, now our society is geared to fast food, fast fixes, fast this, fast that. It's not a society of life. It's a society of existence and survival. And when you enter in things that make a person believe they're somewhere else or be somewhere else or have some sort of consideration that they need something to live, well, then you're looking at a society that's going right straight down the goddamn chute, right? And unfortunately, this is what's going on today. If I had to look at percentages, I would have to say that most people know that drugs are bad. Drugs produce adverse side effects. Look at a drug commercial on TV. You see all these people roaming around and they're all happy, and life is good and this and that because they're on some drug. While the guy is reading the side effects, which include dementia, diarrhea, severe stomach cramps, cancer of the mouth, death, but what people aren't listening to that part because they're seeing all these happy people because of taking this drug. Well, I have to tell you, that's a bunch of bull crap, right? You need to figure this out for yourself. You need to do your own research. But again, I'll say the point here is run a drug-free workplace. Do not allow anybody on your crew that's on drugs. I don't care if it's medication for some sort of mental disorder or something like that. Now, if a guy's got the flu and he takes an antibiotic, that's something else, right? But you get all these drugs in there that make people live life. This is not true. People live life. That's it. Okay? Life comes with consequences. Life comes with problems. As one of my friend's father used to say, suck it up and walk it off. And you have to be strong today. You really do. And you want strong people behind you. I hope this was beneficial to you. I'll see you again next time.